So, hi and welcome to the Onward and Upward Journey with the Firefly Circle. The Onward and Upward is a philosophy carved out from a passion of understanding businesses, markets, people, products, and tools. And it's a way of building perception through insights, ideas, stories, and thoughts from different experts from the areas of sales, marketing, product, engineering, and growth hacking. A first in the series of Onward and Upward, powered by the Firefly Circle, we are joining hands with the pioneers, the evangelist, and the authors of the Growth Hacking Book 2, bringing out a series of thought leadership based discussions which will cover the essence of each of the chapters contributed by the authors. Our guest for today, he's a programmer, a manager, a marketeer, a strategist, a team builder, and an individual who's building India's next big thing in the edutech space. Please join me in welcoming Rishabh Wij. Hi, Rishabh, and welcome to the Firefly Circle.
Hi, Kushagra. How are you?
Very well. How are you doing today?
I'm also fine. Thanks for inviting me for this.
Fantastic. Always a pleasure to have people like you on board, who actually have that fire and the passion to go out there and, get their aspirations and desires into play, right? And primarily our conversation will actually begin from this particular context of your background into business strategy, growth hacking, bringing out value-based product inception. So how did this passion begin and how has your journey been so far?
Okay, so my career actually started as a software engineer in a, US company through campus placements at IIT Bombay. But very quickly, and when I say very quickly, I mean only after 3 months, I became fascinated by the world of startups. So India was rising in terms of number of startups, and the initial success story of companies like Flipkart, Snapdeal was everywhere in 2013. So I started exploring startups and I worked in various departments in various roles just to understand how a company works. So I worked in operations, I worked in sales, I worked in category management, business P&L, product launches, product marketing. So I built verticals, I scaled companies from scratch, and that is how I developed all these plethora of skills. So then I learned how to create, viable products which are actually needed in the market and which could bring revenue to the organization also.
Yep.
So that is how I, entered into this business strategy role, and it has been a very rewarding journey since till now.
Fantastic. I've actually been following you on LinkedIn and you're doing some great stuff out there. So we believe that you're in the edutech space, right? And it's actually a booming industry, to say the least. So can you tell us a little more about this venture of yours in this space?
Okay, so I'll tell you. See, education has been a passion for long. So why I say that, not because I am currently in this industry, but because I feel that for majority of the Indians who are still living in tier 3, tier 4 cities, education is the only way to come out of that shell and do something, do something big, achieve something for yourself. So I also come from a very small city, and I feel education is the only thing which brought me into this bigger world of companies, startups, business strategies.
I agree.
So,
Yep.
also, it is actually, one of the most discussed topic between me and my wife, because she's a professor and she has been in this space for since a long time. So the current venture of mine focuses on teaching coding and programming, and I
Nice.
know that you hear about a lot of companies teaching coding and programming nowadays, but we focus on teaching these skills to primarily engineering students who actually need it. So there have been a lot of surveys, there have been a lot of people who have, done surveys and done research and told us that 90% or 95% of our engineers are not skilled enough. And that is why we focused on a certain set of skills, which is coding and programming. And we teach these skills, and it's a great company. The founders of the company are amazing set of people. Um, Started from offline teaching, and now we are actually at a stage wherein we are actually impacting a lot of students from various colleges and universities.
Great, fantastic. Now, coding actually brings me to a question about the White Hat Junior, right? So, this has to be, a question which I'll actually put across to you. So, from an ethics standpoint, do you really believe that kids of that age should really be exposed to coding?
See, I
Mm-hmm.
believe personally that the kind of work, or maybe the kind of vision with which the company White Hat Junior was started, that is a very noble vision.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me. The only things which are ethically not good is when you're trying to achieve sales by creating FOMO.
Yeah.
And you know, the company is not the culprit here. The culprit are the people who are paying for it. If you
Yeah.
understand that point, so that comparison of Sharma ji ka beta, that is in our mentality.
Yeah.
So let's say they are giving a product, they are giving a feature, they are giving an option that if your kids are interested in coding, they can take coding. But no one is forcing the parents to buy those
Mm-hmm.
things.
Mm-hmm.
So that is an option. So for example, we can always go out and say that pizza and burger is not good for kids.
Mm-hmm.
No one is forcing them to buy it.
Yeah.
If you look at it from the other point of view, I mean, from a different perspective,
Mm-hmm.
so we can always go out and criticize that these burger chains and pizza chains are not providing us healthy food. But I think that is only an alternative.
Yeah.
So White Hat Junior provides an alternative, and I feel that is a good alternative for people who want to learn coding.
Agreed. I think very nicely put and nicely formulated in your articulation. Totally agree to that. Now, from an entrepreneurial mindset, right? So, what would be the three sort of takeaways or experiences that you've sort of gained? You were actually in the corporate midst of things, and then you actually, believed in yourself of, stepping into the entrepreneurial journey, right? So, what were your sort of takeaways and experiences up until now? If I were to ask you three.
Okay, okay. So I first of all I would like to say that these takeaways only come from failures.
Yeah.
So until or unless
No, nicely
uh,
put. I agree.
you
Yep.
fail, you won't learn what you can actually learn.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say the first thing is, a lot of companies talk about product market fit.
Yep.
You hear that from a lot of companies. Now, I would like to put that the first point is product market fit is much, much greater than market product fit.
Hmm.
I can explain that. So product market fit is you're coming up with a product which is actually fit for the market.
Mm-hmm.
And market product fit is you actually try to create a product. You try to create a product just for the sake of market. So, okay. So in product market fit, product takes precedence,
Yeah.
and in market product fit, market takes precedence. I'll clarify it once again that you don't do a startup, you don't start a company, you don't do something just because it has a big market. You only do it if there is a need of that product.
Yeah.
That is why I say product market fit is much, much greater than market product fit.
Yeah.
Second point I would say is team is very crucial.
Hmm.
Very crucial. I mean, you cannot do anything without a good solid team, especially your core team, especially your base team. So
Yeah.
the people the initial 30, 40, 50 people are very crucial,
Hmm.
and they are supposed to be, uh, let's say all rounders. So
Hmm.
we can always talk about that in detail. But that was the second point, that team is actually very crucial, and team is always very underrated.
Yeah.
So we always try to glorify the CEO, the founder, the this and that, but teams are actually
Mm-hmm.
who deliver results.
Yeah.
The third point is that you don't need external validation. I mean, a
Hmm.
company which does not raise a funding is not a cool startup. But that is not the case. You don't
Yeah.
need external validation.
Hmm.
You should focus on your own product or customer. I mean, why I'm saying this, because I have failed a lot of times, and
Yeah.
that is how I learned things. And I feel most of the startups fail because they start looking for external validation. So they start a company just to get some funding, just to get rich. I mean, all those factors, just to be cool, just to have a tag of co-founder or things like that. But that is not how companies are built.
Yeah. I think very, very nicely put. I think failure, the aspect of failure cannot really be undermined, not just from an entrepreneurial mindset, but in a general life form as well. I think failures actually teach us quite a lot, and you should actually, take that as experiences and move ahead. Very nicely put. The next segment about the book and the growth hacking book too. Really keen to sort of understand what your chapter is all about, what the essence is, and how would it sort of benefit us readers in any way. So can you maybe articulate on that?
Okay, so the topic of my book, the title of my chapter is Engage, Educate, and Evolve.
Nice.
So, engage, educate, and evolve. So this is focused on the education sector. So you engage with the set of people you really want to teach. So you engage with them, understand their requirements, you educate them, and evolve them in terms of skills, which can be used to get jobs or which can be really helpful in the long run. So this chapter which I have written, this talks about how do you engage with lakhs of engineering students who are spread out over more than 10-20,000 colleges all over India. So how do you engage with them? How do you provide them the best coding or programming skills? So So while I was working on it, I focused on coding or programming skills, but this can be replicated to various sectors. This can be replicated to school students who are spread out in various schools. So that is what I have done in my chapter. So I have explained how you can reach out to a mass population who is spread out all over India without an on-field sales team. How you can impart those skills to them and how you can make them job ready.
Fantastic. So this is going to be such a value add for all of us readers, and I'm really keen and looking forward to grabbing my hands on the book and particularly your chapter. Yeah.
I would like to add one more line.
Sorry, yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
So the focus was actually to create something which is, of the students, by the students, and for the students. So we created something which was of the students, by the students themselves, and for the students of those same college. So that is what has been done by me, and that is what I have explained in my chapter, so that a lot of people can go through it and use that as a growth hack to enhance their business also.
Fantastic. So from a future perspective, what are we expecting from Rishabh?
Okay, so I'm currently focused on the book launch, which is happening in December. Also, I had some plans with my wife only, so with my better half. So we both being in the education sector, we actually wanted to create some more impact, not in a business sense, but we were trying to do something more socially. So along with what we are currently doing, we wanted to do something on a grassroots level. So the plans of COVID actually halted everything. So our plans got halted due to COVID, and we could not do a lot of market research at the grassroots level. So we wanted to do that, but I suppose within the next 6 months, we'll come up with something. So wherein we would like to impact the society through education on a grassroots level. And when I say on a grassroots level, that means, tier 3, tier 4 cities, and wherein you can actually create an impact, where the impact is much needed. So we are trying to do something in that domain. We would reach out to a lot of, governments, and we will create something which will impact certain states of India.
Fantastic. Such a noble cause, and kudos to you and your wife, and all the very best. Um
Thanks,
Last
Kushagra.
couple of things before we sort of sign out. One success mantra that you always, stood by, which you want to sort of share to the audience to inspire them.
Okay, so especially during the current times when we are so much into social media and we uh, interact with a lot of content, we see each other's lives on a daily basis.
Yeah.
We tend to compare a lot. So I would say that everyone is ambitious. Everyone is ambitious at their own level. So you need to understand that you are also ambitious, and you know don't let anyone compare and belittle your efforts or ambition.
Yeah.
So win actually comes in totally different forms for everyone. So you
Yeah.
need to realize that, and you need to focus on your own ambition without comparing it to anyone.
I think that's a very good life principle. Thank you so much for that. One final one, maybe a shout out from you to the viewers to go out there and grab their hands on the book.
Okay, so to tell the viewers, there's a great book, Growth Hacking Book Part 2 is coming out in December. The book is already up for grabs on Amazon. It is already one of the bestseller in multiple countries,
Yeah.
including India, of course. And you have amazing set of people from various countries, from more than 15 countries, who have came together for a noble cause just to tell you certain hacks which they have implemented in their own corporate life, and they have generated success. So at a very minimal cost, I would say,
Yeah.
you can go through those hacks, you can implement that. You can be a freelancer, you can be an entrepreneur, you could be someone running an offline business,
Yeah.
and you will have a lot of hacks to enhance your business to take the growth to that level. So please order the book now.
I couldn't have said it better. Thank you so much for being a part of the Firefly Circle and sharing some great insights and best practices, which I'm sure will help many to go onward and upward. Thank you. Thank you once again, Rishabh.
Thank you, Kushagra. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you.